You're stuck in analysis mode. You consume content. You debate ideas. You think about thinking. But when someone asks what it's all for, what you're actually building, you freeze. You've got 1,000 half-read books, 100 saved videos, 0 answers. And here's the truth. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you think you have time. You think one more podcast, one more theory, one more framework will finally click. But there's a specific moment, a biological deadline, where all that noise stops working. The philosopher Gilles Deleuze called it the midnight question, and it reveals why smart people stay stuck while simpler minds build empires. Most people never learn this. They die still exploring. You're about to compress 40 years of wandering into 10 minutes. So, let's talk about the real enemy. It's not information overload. It's not lack of focus. It's something called the intellectual gallop, and your brain is hardwired for it. Here's the problem. The problem isn't that you don't know enough. It's that you're allergic to endings. Your brain is built for novelty. Dopamine spikes when you discover new ideas. But building one concept, committing to one tool, that's death to the ancient brain. So you gallop. Philosophy to neuroscience to stoicism to productivity hacks. Forever, and you think you're learning. But you're not. You're just consuming intellectual entertainment. Deleuze observed this in 20th century philosophy itself. Decade after decade of innovation, constant intellectual fireworks. But only at the end, when death arrived, did the great thinkers stop performing and ask, what was this all for? And the answer they gave changes everything. Because Deleuze said philosophy is not reflection, not contemplation, it's the art of fabricating concepts, not discovering truth like buried treasure, fabricating tools like a carpenter. If you're not building something, you're just scrolling with a thesis. Now, here's where it gets specific. Deleuze used a metaphor, midnight. At noon, you're busy. Endless options, infinite time. At midnight, when the noise stops, when death is close, you stop lying. And there's a specific exercise that simulates this without waiting 60 years. It's called the Midnight Simulation. 5 steps, all biological, all concrete. And if you do this tonight, you'll build more clarity than most people get in a lifetime. Let's go. Step 1, the time collapse. Here's the counterintuitive truth. You don't need more time to think, you need less. The illusion of infinite runway is what's killing you. Average people plan like they're immortal. You're about to think like mortality is real. Here's what you do. Tonight, late, quiet room, lights low, close your eyes. And imagine you are 85 years old. Right now, you've lived your whole life. The future no longer exists. Feel that. Actually, feel the anxiety of no more becoming. No more, I'll figure it out later. No more, when I'm ready, you're at the end. This is it. Now here's why this works on a biological level. Your prefrontal cortex operates in 2 modes, exploration versus exploitation. Youth equals exploration bias. Gather options, keep doors open. Age equals exploitation bias. Use what works, close the loops. This visualization forces the switch. You exit discovery mode, and your brain stops fighting you. But imagining isn't enough. Step 2 is where the filter gets brutal. Step 2, the anxiety filter. Counterintuitive truth, anxiety isn't the problem, it's the compass. Deleuze said the question comes, hiding anxiety. That feeling you're avoiding? That's the signal. So here's the tool. You're still your 85-year-old self. Look at your current big problems, career struggle, relationship drama, money stress. Now admit, from the deathbed, 99% of this vanishes. The argument you had last week? Gone. The promotion you didn't get? Irrelevant. The person who doesn't text back? Forgotten. Write down what remains. That 1%. That's real. Everything else is just noise your dopamine system convinced you matters. This is called mortality salience. Terror management theory. When death is conscious, the brain strips status games and reveals core values. You stop optimizing for applause. You start optimizing for meaning. You've got the filter. But now comes the part most people screw up, even the smart ones. Step 3, the forbidden question. Counterintuitive truth. The deepest questions sound like baby questions. Deleuze's masterpiece was titled "What is Philosophy?" Sounds like a first grader's textbook. That's the point. If your truth needs 10 pages to explain, it's not cooked yet. So here's what you do. Looking at that 1% from step 2, the stuff that survives the deathbed, ask this. When I have nothing left to ask, what is the one tool I wish I had built? Not, I wish I was richer, but I wish I had the concept of self-sufficiency. Not, I wish people liked me, but I wish I had the concept of internal validation. One sentence, one tool. Here's the science. Cognitive load theory. The brain can hold about 4 chunks in working memory. Complex truths collapse under pressure. A single sentence concept is a compression algorithm. It handles infinite scenarios with one rule. You've named it, but naming isn't building. Step 4 is the construction site. Step 4, the fabrication. Counterintuitive truth. You don't find wisdom, you build it. Deleuze's exact word, fabricating. Like a carpenter making a chair, deliberate, material, testable. Here's the tool. Take your one-sentence concept from step 3. Now, fabricate the operating rules. Example, self-sufficiency. Rule 1, I can meet my basic needs without external approval. Rule 2, I create value before I extract value. Rule 3, my mood is not hostage to outcomes I don't control. Write 3 to 5 rules, concrete, actionable, no poetry. Now here's why this is biological genius. Procedural memory beats declarative memory. Rules, procedures, wire into the basal ganglia. They become automatic. Abstract ideals, declarations, stay in the hippocampus. They require constant willpower. This is why be confident doesn't work. But make eye contact for 3 seconds does. One is a performance, the other is a procedure. Skip this step and you'll still be thinking about it at 84. But there's one final lock. Step 5, the midnight test. Counterintuitive truth. If you can't use it at midnight, when you're tired, anxious, alone, it's not a concept, it's a performance. Here's the acid test. Set a phone reminder for tonight. 3 a.m. Wake up, groggy, no coffee, no motivation. Read your rules from step 4. Ask, can I apply this right now in this state? If yes, you built a concept. If no, you built a college essay. Go back to step 4. Here's the neuroscience. At 3 a.m., your executive function is offline. Your default mode network is raw. If the tool works when your smart brain is asleep, it's hardwired. That's the difference between knowledge, fragile, and wisdom, anti-fragile. This is what Deleuze meant. Not reflection, fabrication. You just did in one night what most people delay for decades. So, let's reframe what just happened. You're not a consumer of ideas anymore. You're a concept engineer. While others are still galloping, collecting frameworks, debating theories, you build. They're tourists. You're an architect. And here's the deeper truth. Deleuze said you can only ask the midnight question when old age arrives. But old age isn't a number. It's a choice. It's the choice to stop performing intelligence and start fabricating tools. You just chose it. Most people die with a library of ideas and zero concepts. You now have the method to build one before breakfast. The world doesn't need more thinkers, it needs more builders.